Right then, so in today's video, we're on with the driver's side of the Honda Civic. As you can see, I've made some headway already, because I kind of got ahead of myself. But, yeah, basically this is the rust situation on this side. A lot worse than the other side, so, you know, not good, but there we go. It is what it is. So yeah, the plan of action for this side is to get this back section off here. You can see I've done a cut line there, just a bit of marking up and that sort of thing. And yeah, basically we're going to do these bits separately. So I'll cut this off, we'll cut this bit off, replace that bit. The main thing I'm worried about is this lap here. You can see this is where the panels join. Rust obviously does go behind there, so I'm gonna have to cut along there and see what it looks like behind. And if it's worse than what, if it's quite bad, then I'm gonna have to just do that section. So yeah, that will be fun, won't it? We've also got this mess here, closing panel. Done a line here just to mark out where we're going to be cutting for the arch, and ugh, it's all quite bad on this side, isn't it? So yeah, fun times, eh? So we're gonna not worry about this front section of the sill for now. We're just gonna focus mainly on this bit here. I may have to put a little piece in there just so that this can sit over the top, because that will not slide in obviously once this is welded in. So we'll make a little piece for there, which shouldn't be too bad. And yeah, that'll act as like a little, you know, thing that we did on the other side actually. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get this bit cut, and we're going to see what it looks like behind. Cut the what was to be the sill. Now it's now off. So yeah, just trying to figure out how this is joined here, because obviously we've got the overlap, and ideally I want to do this back bit first, because I want to really get this car, I really want to get the back done first. It's just so I can get the fuel tank on and get it moving again and all that sort of thing. So that means welding this, welding the arch, and that mess there. So I've been looking at it, and basically this overlap here, so you've got the midsection of the sill here, which is just as floppy as anything because it's just rotten. Look at the state of that. So that goes all the way up there. So we've got to basically just peel back this section here and see where that rust goes up in here. Obviously we've got the floor there, so don't really want to have to start messing around with the floor. That'd be great. I do know that this line here, so the floor spot welded here along there, just below that line. So I reckon that we're going to have to give this car a bit of a brace. So probably just weld a few poles or bits of metal just to the top of the sill here, just to keep that floor from moving about, so that I can put a section in all along there, because I'm not leaving that in. That's all getting cut out definitely, because that's just pretty heavy rust, and no doubt it'll be rusty in that seam as well. There's no point doing a half-assed job at this. So yeah, we need to cut this bit up so we've got full access to this join here. We know that this bit up here is good, there's no rust in there. It's just this lower bit, as you can see. I don't know what that cross section is like up there, but that should hopefully give you an idea on what I'm going to try and do. So right, so we've got a little visitor now. I don't know where he's gone. Oh, there he is. There's a bee. There is a bee. But what we've been doing just this moment is that we've just kind of like pulled away this bit of metal here. Where is it? This little thing here. just so to see how far this rust goes up into this panel here. And yeah, it goes to about there, which is totally fine, so that's good. So we just need to kind of clean this area up a bit, make it all nice. That's the lip for the floor there, which is a bit mangled, but we'll sort that out. What we'll do is we'll probably just clean that up, hammer it flat, so that when we get this piece welded back in, then we can just go in from the inside and just do a few plug welds just to stick it back onto there, like it would be from factory. I want to cut this bit off here and create a little piece for this, so that we've got this something to weld this onto, because obviously that overlaps, and obviously overlapping stuff, we need to, you know, make sure that we do it right, because obviously it's a water trap. That's how it was done at factory, so we really need to try and match that. So yeah, so what I'll do obviously is we'll cut this bit off here, I'll make a little plate there, and we will just kind of go from there, I guess. What I'll probably try and do is actually get the actual sill that's upstairs for this bit and cut a little bit off, and use that, because then you've got the shape still then, and I don't have to make a new panel then. So we'll do that, and that can be welded on there, and then that can go on top, and then obviously we can work our way forward from there. So yeah, it's obviously because we've got nothing to weld to here apart from just this little bit here, so it is what it is. So we still need to do this bit here, which will get cut out. The idea is we've got this piece here for back, and I've cut it along this lower bit here, simply because this sill that I made was about 0.5 mil too big on the lower bit, which is a cock up I did, not measuring properly. So we'll trim that down, we'll get that trimmed down to the right size and also the right angle. We're using the old sill as a template. As you can probably see here, I want to make sure that that angle there is correct. And it's slightly out, but what we can do is when we get that welded in, we can hammer it down and, you know, get it right so that this piece can then go on after. So yeah, it's a bit of an ordeal, but I have very limited tools. I don't have a folding machine and that sort of thing. It's very thick metal. It's 1.5 mil steel. It's quite heavy stuff, so I don't have anything that will be able to really bend this with ease, so I'm just having to make deal with what tools I've got and improvise. So as I say, still got a few little scoring marks that I need to get lined up, so we'll use a belt sander to trim that to there, and once it's all trimmed down and once this is all cut out, that should hopefully be in line like that. So yeah, as I say, trim a bit off here and that should be in line then with the panel on the car. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get that welded on soon. So yeah, and then obviously once that's on, we'll weld these together at the bottom like so. So yeah, a bit of weird way of doing it, but it's my cock up that I did. So there we go. So I need to make a new one of them, which is a jacking point. Did it on the other side, we'll do it for this side because there's rust behind there, and also a new strengthener. So we'll get them made up at some point as well. Okay, so it's the next day, and as you can see, I've been working on removing the rest of the jacking point, and also we've kind of, you know, removed this bit here. As you can see, it's a bit rusty in there, so what to be quite honest with you, I have made a little bit of cardboard here, and we're going to rebuild that lip, and we'll probably cut that bit off as well, just so we can get in there with something and treat all that rust in there. I've taken the bolt out so it's not got any weight on it, because obviously it's a structural point, so I want to make sure that it's all right when we, when we come to sorting it out. But yeah, as I say, what I'm going to do is going to cut this bit out and get in there with a drill, clean it up as best I can. I mean, if I had a sandblaster, it'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? I could get right in there and just blast the hell out of it. But we don't, so why wheel, get it nice and clean in there, bit of hydrate 80. We've got some deox gel upstairs, but to be quite frankly, you need to use cling film for it to actually go off properly, and it's a very tight area, so I'll just have to spray a bit of hydrate 80 in there and get that all, it's treated as best as I can really. There's only so much rust you can remove in these confined areas without messing around with the structure of the car. But there we go. We'll get some hydrate 80 in there, so we'll do a little jump cut. Okay then, so sprayed it in, spread it around with brush, and yeah, you can let that dry. Probably put a bit too much in there, but it should be fine, it'll dry. So yeah, that should be nice and all coated in there. And once that's all set, what we'll do is, when it's all welded back up again, we'll get some cavity wax S50, Dynax S50, and we'll just blather it, just completely fill it up with wax and just make sure that it's all protected and stuff for the future. So yeah, so we'll let that set, and we'll do some other bits and bobs. Okay, so we've got the welder out. I've made this little piece here, which is just gonna go in there like so. So we'll get that tacked in and get it into shape and see how it looks. It'll start burning through then. flattening. Could be better. Could most likely definitely be better, but it's on there. It's a bit questionable in some places. It's a bit too standing proud of it, but it's definitely welded. That's for sure. So we've got a belt sander that I could get in there and just grind them down. Or I do have a flat disc available, which should be able to do the same. Right, so I've grinded all that down, so it's nice and flat. I didn't want to take too much off, obviously, just so it keeps its strength. You're not going to see this because there's going to be a panel in front of this. But yeah, plenty of penetration on the back, which is good. It's nice and rigid, which is what we want. I've not done this bit yet because I'm going to do that from the back. So that requires me having to crawl under the car. But what I'll do is, because this piece here is going over that, I want to make sure that it's nice and flat, so it stays flat on, you know, so you get what I mean. I'm terrible at explaining things, as you can probably tell. But yeah, so what we need to do now is create a little piece here that goes down and sits here. So we need to drill a couple of holes on that panel and weld it here, and then plug it here. So we'll do that now. Okay, well, we've got that little piece welded in. It's not brilliant, but it'll do. And I've just painted some weld-through zinc primer on that, just so when I put this piece on, obviously it's nice and protected in the seam. Yeah, I kind of cocked up on this bit here. As you can see, I've had to put a little sliver there because this was too far back and it wasn't lining up with this, so I've had to cut that weld out, pull it forward, put a little piece in to bring it forward, and that just kept blowing holes, so I just had to crank it up and just put more wire in to fill it in. So not brilliant, but we can get back. If I'm really bothered about the appearance, I can just get a finger sander in there and just grind them down. But to be fair with you, it's a structural point, so, and you're not going to see it, are you? So it'll be fine anyway. Plenty of cavity wax and we should be good. So there we go. I also put that piece in there. Obviously I said I was going to spot weld it here, however I didn't want it to mess with the bit of this that I'm putting on here, because it'll sit out like that, if you get what I mean. But there we go. It's not brilliant, it'll do the job, it'll be fine. Right then, so I've been trimming down this piece just for the past couple of minutes, just bending it into shape so that we get a nice little contour there. And yeah, gap's a bit big there, but that's not an issue. But yeah, I say that's ready to be welded in. So yeah, we'll get it done. Okay. So just done that stitch there. Where is the thingamabob? There it is. How hot is that? Let's let that cool down. Little bit that needs filling in there where I've cut, so I'll just do that and we should be good for the run. Hopefully that's gone through at the back. I'm sure it will have. That's pretty flat in there. Let's just get the old sander. See how it comes out with sander. So, just need to get them plug welds done now. It's alright, is that? Right. Okie dokie, right, so that's all plug welded. Nice and strong and all that sort of stuff. So, what we're going to do now is we're just going to flatten them welds down, because there'll be a panel that'll go over this, you see. And it also needs straightening out because it's slightly warped, but not an issue. Just get a hammer and dolly and that'll be good. And yeah, so that's pretty much that bit. So let's get it flattened. Right then, so that's all of the plug welds sanded down, which is nice and flat now. So when we go and put the inner wheel arch in, that bit here will sit nice and flush with this panel. So yeah, not terrible really, is it? To be fair, much better than the other side. Starting to get a bit more used to the welder now, which is good. So yeah, I'm pretty chuffed with that repair, to be quite honest with you, considering it was a bit of a pain in the backside to get right, but that's all good now, which is brilliant. So I'm going to get some built Hamber not epoxy, sorry, some built Hamber electrox just to go over that, so it won't rust then, which is good. Right, well that's all now primed and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up for today, I think. So yeah, I've just been busy beating this into shape to get this angle more at the 90 degree. So I've been messing around with that, and that will obviously be welded to this bit here. And yeah, before we do that though, we need to sort out this bit. I'm going to cut out a bit there, weld a little guide piece in, because the idea is obviously we need to follow the line of the sill, which is this one here, which isn't really much help. But yeah, we also have this piece here, which is a good little guide to get the angles right on it, as you can see. So could use a bit of that actually, but rather use new metal. So I'll put in a little piece here, I'll fabricate a little piece, and that'll allow us to lay the new sill on top, and that'll be like a little guide just to make sure that it's all correct and flush. So yeah, I'm pretty chuffed with that bit. That's all done, and yeah, we'll be moving on to fitting this bit here. So yeah, should be about there. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, cheers for watching, guys, and yeah, we'll catch you in another welding video.